Alright, y'all. I got a special one for y'all today. Zeezzy the King. Zach King on social media, Facebook. Hit me up on social medias. I just did a community tab yesterday asking about certain things I'm going to discuss in this particular movie. You've seen the thumbnail, you know what it is. This is something very near and dear to my heart, very special to me, my favorite franchise, and obviously one of my favorite movies of the franchise. Today I'm giving you Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master. Now I'm going to check the notes out real quick, and then I'm going to get to it. Spoilers for the damn movie. It came out in 1988. I mean, come on. It had a budget of $13 million. It grossed $49 million. Like I said, look at the research between Freddy, Michael Myers, and Jason during these years. He was killing them. I'm gonna get to the cast. We got obviously Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. We got Lisa Wilcox as Alice Johnson. She's the main final girl protagonist. We got Dan Hassel playing Dan Jordan. We got Andres Jones as Rick Johnson. That's Alice's brother in the movie. We got Brooke Dice as Debbie Stevenson. She's like the 1980s aerobics workout, you know what I'm saying, type of chick. And we got Toy Newkirk as Sheila. This movie was written and helped produced and directed by Wes Craven, but the director was Ronnie Harlan, who's a legend. Now I got a fun fact in there. I always throw a little nugget when I do my research and my notes and my script, and I just said this was actually part 4 in the franchise, so you know it's a well-established franchise. But they made 4 movies in 4 years. Part 1 came out in '84. A great year, I might add. But my point is, even though this is the 4th movie in a great franchise that's moving along well, this is the first movie with recurring roles. And what I mean recurring storylines, not roles, because Nancy came back in 3 and she was the star of 1. I'm just saying far as the storyline, because I'm going to break it down before I get to the synopsis. And part 1 of the movie, if you remember, is the first original Nightmare on Elm Street. Every concept is new. Part 2 with Jesse is kind of a soft reboot with no recurring characters. Part 3 brings back Nancy and gets back to the basics of a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. That's where Part 4 picks up. It picks up from the Dream Warriors sequence in which all of them get killed off. That's why I didn't mention their names in the credits. And RIP to the Dream Warriors, because Roland Kincaid, Christian Parker, even though they recast her from 3 to 4, and Joey Caruso or whatever his last name was. I mean, those characters, I just love the Dream Warriors. This is one of my favorite horror movies, one of my favorite movies in general. So to bring them back for a quick, y'all remember them, quick kill, and then replace them with the new cast immediately, it turns some people off. But for some reason, the Freddy Krueger community on Nightmare on Elm Street is basically split, where this movie is like, either people think it's great and love it, it's one of their best, or they think it's trash and the downfall where Freddy started, where it was MTV Rock and all that. Because in my countdown, I covered it 2 years ago. I got this ranked at number 3. I got Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is the number 1 I got in the franchise. I got the original as number 2, and I got this one as the 3rd best because it's repeated from 4. I mean, it's repeated from 3. And on top of that, it got the biggest body count because he killed the last kids of Elm Street, which are the Dream Warriors, at the beginning scene. As he's doing that, because I'm basically finna start getting into the movie. The movie kicks off with Christian recast. So we looking off top like, who is this, until we figure out who it is when Joey and Kincaid end up in her dream, because that's her dream power. She can bring people into her dreams. So the movie start off with a spooky, creepy ass dream where she reimagining, you know what I'm saying, the theme song playing. You know what I'm saying? She reimagining it. Freddy is coming back, you know what I'm saying? So she calls Kincaid and Joey to her dream. That's when we realize, oh, this is Christian. Why did he get the same person? It's Tuesday Night, which to me, I love the intro song to this Running From This Nightmare. That song cold as hell to me. My point is, once we realize this Christian and the team back, they telling her in the dream, you gonna reawaken them by keep dreaming them. I've been having good dreams lately. We killed them, remember last year? So she like, all right, woo woo woo. So now they go to school the next day because the dog Jason comes in the dream and bites Christian. They all wake up from that incident. The next day in school, they all talking like, listen, we don't need none of this bullshit you on. We beat them last year. Let's try to move on. We out Western Hills now. We back in society. Let's get that Freddy shit off our minds. She like, all right, just be aware, you know what I'm saying? And try to keep controlling y'all dreams like y'all been doing. Because they got dreamlands they go to when they dream. So that's when we see Rick, which is Alice's boyfriend. He comes up and they have a little pissing match with him because, you know, any dude don't like his girl having friends of guys that they not comfortable with. So they have a little your friend's kind of weird. She like, no, they cool, you know what I'm saying? We've been through a lot of shit together. And that's just how the scene ends. Now that's when we meet the characters that I said. The Sheila character is an asthmatic, smart type character, part of the crew. Then we meet Debbie, who got a fetish for, not a fetish, she got a fetish for lifting weights and bodybuilding, but she hate bugs, and that's going to play a part in her death. Spoilers. We meet Dan, which is the jock. He not part of the crew. He's the jock football player that Alice likes and admires and wouldn't mind dating. She got a little daydream segment that she do throughout the movie, which is key for Freddy, because he can get at her whenever she had them daydreaming moments. Then, like I said, we met Rick already, which is her brother, and Alice. So now, this should get to breaking down fast, excuse me. Now we pan back after we meet all the cast and characters. We go right to Kincaid having a dream sequence, you know what I'm saying? He wake up in where they bury Freddy, you know what I'm saying, from part 3, where Dr. Neil, who never appeared in the franchise ever again, and Mr. Thompson buried the ashes there. So he wake up in the junkyard, in the trunk. He busts himself out like, this ain't my dreamland. Christian! He start yelling, thinking she done pulled him in another dream. That's when he realized he see Jason there start pissing fire, reemerges Freddy out the grave, reemerges, reanimates, and he back. He get to running from Freddy woo-woo, because he's scared of him still. Freddy finesses him, going around creepily scary as hell, no jokes, no laughing yet. So then, Kincaid's dream power is strength. So he hides behind some cars, push it on Freddy, squishes him. He get to celebrating, thinking he win. Then the whole fucking junkyard get to going crazy. All the lights and cars start moving around, alarms going off, bells going off, everything going crazy. Freddy, you know, so he start yelling, Freddy's back! That's when Freddy appears, guts Kincaid, kill him. Out of the way. One of the Dream Warriors, one of the last Elm Street kids. It pans right over to Joey's room. Like in part 3, he has sequences of trying to indulge his sexual appetite to kill him in dreams. This time it works to perfection. Joey falling asleep, and he sees a little bimbo poster he got in the room, appears in his waterbed. He goes to try to get at her. Freddy appears, drown the hell out of him. He dead. Now we go to Christian. He like, I just killed your boys. This happening right back to back, which is disappointing me. He goes to Christian like, yeah, they in the boiler room. I just took care of your boys. He like, what you gonna do now? She like, nothing. I'm the last. He like, you damn right. So her power still is to put people in her dream. So some mysterious reason she brings Alice into the dream because she the basically future protagonist of the movie. Freddy tells her nobody sleeps. I'm finna use you to get to her. So he throws her in a water pool, you know what I'm saying, fire grave. And I said this in my Explained and Unexplained Kills of Freddy, where she was a cigarette smoker. So the death was she died, and you know what I'm saying, and her bed caught it on fire. So now the Dream Warriors is dead, and I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do from here? That's when we get Alice. Alice also picks up her dream power, basically is picking up the powers of all of her friends and comrades. So now she realizing what's happening, you know what I'm saying, the Freddy thing, she started having dreams, and you know what I'm saying, her father is a workaholic, they mom passed, they never mention how they mom passed, she just not part of the movie, but she had, you see from the family dynamic, she his daughter but slash wife, not sexual, but she got to make the dinner for her, Rick and the father when he come off work, she overworked from school and being at home, and you know what I'm saying, she just try to get away with it by, you know what I'm saying, working a lot and daydreaming. So now we get to the plot where Freddy is enticing her mind time and time again, to where now he telling her to bring me more, because he done killed all the kids at Elm Street who had any connection to him. So now he is becoming powerless unless he can get Alice to bring more victims to him, which would make his paranormal kills become part of the conscious of the Elm Street kids again. So that thing started happening. It started getting to some great kills, like the Sheila who's asthmatic. He shows up in the class where they finna take a test. How it looks in real life, they finna take a test. She's smart, she nervous, she have an asthma attack. But the dream sequence, he becomes the teacher. He cutting the apple with his, you know what I'm saying, razor claws. He comes up to Sheila like, you want to suck face? She like, no. Before he doing all that, he teasing her with the, you know what I'm saying, finger, the glove knives. He licking his tongue out all perverted. Then he grabs her and kisses her and just like sucks all the oxygen out of her body. A great kill, you know what I'm saying? It had some Transformer shit that scared her before it, just to warm the kill up. But this was Sheila. She knocked off. Every time Freddy gets a kill, though, to keep Alice at bay, he puts her in a time loop, which was, you know what I'm saying, kind of goofy, but it had a good scene with her and Dan, because it's a moment where when Sheila died, Rick and Dan are kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? They ain't friendly, like best friends, but they cool enough to where he make the connection to Rick, he make the connection to Alice, so now they kind of start dating. You know what I'm saying? It ain't thrown over your head like a romantic saga, but they get together throughout the movie to where now it's Debbie, Rick, Dan, Alice, and Sheila. They became a crew. So after Sheila died, that's when you get the famous pic of all four of them huddled up like we part of a team. So Dan is still kind of on the outside where he don't really believe in the Freddy shit or know about it. So Rick like, man, the way people been dying, all her old friends, like, man, his girlfriend Christian, so he like, man, I don't know if Alice tripping. There might be some truth to this. That's when we get to Rick's kill, where he a karate sensei black belt type of karate kid, type of Danielson type of kid. So his dream, the budget ran out of money. It supposed to have been a karate fight, some heroic shit with Freddy, but what we get is Invisible Freddy, where he's just like, a true master doesn't have to see, and he just fighting the Invisible Freddy. Sometimes he get a couple punches, a couple kicks in, but for the most part, Freddy laughing, toying with him, kick his ass. He kicked the glove off thinking he won. Then Freddy flies the glove into Rick's stomach and kills him. Every time a kill happens, Alice feels it, and then she also absorbs their power. So when Christian dies, she get a smoking habit. When Sheila died, she got this like inhaler power thing she take to her dreams. When Rick died, she get his karate skills. Now we get to the kill of the movie, in my opinion. We get to Debbie kill. Like I said, she a workout warrior who hate bugs. So Freddy check her ass into the Roach Motel. As she bench pressing her little workload, Freddy appears and start pushing the weights down on her, cracking her bones, and I mean, it's gruesome. Great graphics, animatronics, all that shit look A plus 25, 30 years ago. turns her into a roach. He got the little roach eye, you know what I'm saying, buggy thing, and he smushes it, kills her. That's when Alice realized what's going on. It's no more flex about the movie. We basically in third act territory. Her and Dan get to the point where everybody dead in the crew. It's just her and Dan left. And this is a movie history. Everybody who know horror movies know Dan's die in every horror movie for some crazy reason. This is one of the few movies a Dan character survives. Him and Alice get into a car crash because they both sleep at the wheel. Dan get to go into cardiac arrest, so they have to take him out the coma to keep him alive because they finna go at a fight with Freddy together. When he start bleeding eternally, they have to wake him up to do a particular surgery. You know how it works. Certain surgery you could be asleep, certain surgery they need you woke in case you slip in a coma and never wake back up. This is one of the moments where you had to be woke for the surgery. So he leaves the dream and it's Freddy and Alice. And like I said before in my Nightmare on Elm Street 3 started the jokes, but they kept them scary, dark, gloomy, intimidating. 4 is kind of at the point where they like, well, it's clear he the fucking star. It's clear he becoming a pop culture phrase. It's clear that we can profit off of ice cream bars and Freddy dolls. So now we gotta make him somewhat likable. They know he got a gruesome, horrible backstory, but now if we can make him funny in a way, it'll help the brand. Because if you think about it, he's a potential pedophile, serial killer, child killer. So they just tried to soften him up as best you can for a character like this in fiction. And that's when he kind of a little more jokey in this with the Alice in Wonderland lines. He have a final fight where she beating his ass. She using all the tools that her team gave her throughout the movie from their death. She used the power zap, but it don't work. He really healed himself. It's a nice little fight. She using all her acrobatics, but the bullshit ended, like I said before, was when she put the mirror up and said, "Evil will die." It's kind of a nursery rhyme, and all the souls start coming out, breaking out of his body. This is a great scene, though. His death. The bullshit of the death was bullshit, but the death looked it great. And then, you know what I'm saying, happy ending. 2 people survive out of the team. And for me, my final ranking on this, because it's not a long review by my standards, because I can get on a topic and then go off another topic for no reason, but I'm gonna be honest, this to me was one of the better Nightmare on Elm Street movies to me personally. That's why it's ranked in my top 3. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. And that's all I got for you. Zeezzy the King. Like and subscribe. Your favorite horror channel. And I'm out.